Good morning, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Levi Nolasco. I'm a native New Mexican and top realtor here in sunny Las Cruces, New Mexico. In today's video, I'm going to give you some basic levels of advice on selling your house. There's 5 things that you have to nail in order to have a quick, efficient home sale and get the most amount of money. That way you can move on to your next house. Please take a second to like and subscribe. That really helps my channel out and I really appreciate it. And join my Facebook group called Moving to Las Cruces, where I connect people that have made the move to those that want to make the move. That way you can ask questions that sometimes realtors can't answer. To show you where we're at, I'm in between Baylor Canyon Road and Sonoma Ranch Boulevard. So this is a ton of open BLM land. Some of it's nationally protected as well. As you can see, Oregon Mountains right behind me. Then close to the Oregon Mountains, we have some of the oldest Native American irrigation systems in the United States, which is pretty cool. Some pan shots and kind of show you around. Another point why I'm out here, you can tell it's super windy. This is by far my least favorite season of the year in Las Cruces. So I got to a place, and it's pretty steep, where I found like the most amount of wind that I could get access to. That way I can just show you what the city looks like and kind of let you experience the wind a little bit. It's annoying for sure, but it doesn't keep you from going outside the house. I definitely wouldn't ride motorcycles or want to take my dog for a walk in this weather, but I want to show it to you because I want to show you every single thing about Las Cruces so that you can make an informed decision. All right, so these are my 5 rights of selling a house, and then I'm going to give you some advice on some things not to do. So these are the 5 rights of selling a house. And if you see my other videos, you'll know I'm going to start with pricing, because pricing is everything. So if your pricing isn't correct, then none of the other steps will work. So I consider this a keystone step. So a keystone step, of course, means that this one step affects all other steps. You want to make sure that your pricing is correct. And here's a really interesting statistic. So your listing, once you put it on the market, gets 70% of all the views, all of the activity, everything it's going to get in its entire life being on the market in the first 7 to 10 days. So what that means is you have to come out of the gate hot. I always encounter this with sellers. They usually want to start with a higher price, or even a price that's higher than what I found in a comparable market analysis. And they say, you know, let's just try it out for a week or a month, and then if it doesn't work, we'll adjust the price, or we'll do something like that. That's not a good way to go about it, because by the time you adjust your price, you only have about 30% left of activity and views that your house is going to get. So it's of utmost importance to list your property at the right price. And I have a very specific way that I price houses, or at least a way that I advise my clients to price their house to get a faster sale. The only time where it kind of makes sense to go with a higher price or go with a price that isn't really based on the competitive market analysis is if there are no comparable properties to show. So like really big luxury properties and very unique properties sometimes take a little finessing to see how the market responds in order to price correctly. However, the first 7 days will tell you if you're priced correctly or not. But I'm here to tell you that if you do price your property higher than what your realtor suggests or what the competitive market analysis shows, you are going to lose money. Not if you're going to lose money, you are going to lose money in my experience. Next up on my list, I have photos, and as a realtor, I can't tell you how painful it is to see houses that were not professionally photographed, taken with an iPhone. Here's another statistic for you. Over 80% of houses sell based on the photos, based on their online presence. Your house has to look great, it has to have professional photos. We're not talking about, you know, hiring your grandson that just got a camera for Christmas. You need a professional real estate photographer to get the job done correctly. I've even seen some photos of listings where people are walking in the background, or you can see their reflection in the mirror. You really can't have that. You only have a short time to capture an audience and to spark interest, and if somebody notices something that takes them outside of looking at the house, then you're at a loss. I also highly recommend getting what's called a Matterport tour, and this is a 3D tour. This is something that we as brokers upload to the MLS, and it goes out to sites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com. It's basically a 3D mapping of the entire house, so you can see ceiling to floor and look at every single part of the house. And I think that's really important, especially if you, the seller, is living at the house and it's not vacant. It gives people an opportunity to kind of take a tour before making an appointment to come see it. Next up, you'll want to prepare the house for photos and for showings. And what that means is depersonalizing. So you want to take down anything that's personal to you, photos of your family. Basically, you want to make your house as generic as possible, so it casts a wide net so you can get as many buyers as possible to come look at it. Also, a thing you need to do is declutter the house. and show as much square footage as possible. So I always tell people, and it's hard, I mean, I have kids and I'm also kind of messy at home. So, you know, with showings, find a closet that has a lock on it. And if somebody calls and they want to come by and see it, get everything off the floor as much as possible, throw it in that closet or garage. You want people to be able to see the square footage so they can envision where they're going to put their furniture. And I'll tell you something, every single time I've had a buyer look at a house and start saying, well, I wonder if my furniture will fit here. I wonder if my piano will go here. I take a step back, I kind of leave the room and I let them start bonding with the house, because that's what's supposed to happen during showings. And that usually means that they're going to buy the house. Okay, next step, this is gonna be number 4. You want to clean your house. I know it's self-evident, but it doesn't happen. You have no idea how many houses I've toured that are just dirty. And there's a saying that I go by, and I tell this to my buyers: what you can see tells you what you can't see. So if you're looking at a mess, you're looking at dirt, you're looking at, you know, just a gross house, that kind of tells you what's in the walls, how they've taken care of the house. So you have to clean the house and get it spotless. Okay, and last on the list, this one's actually new because of the law changes that happened last year: buyer broker compensation. I will never list a house that doesn't offer buyer broker compensation because it's really hard to show those houses. And I've been watching a couple, there's only 2 that I know of since the law change. I've been watching those houses and they've been on the market for over a year. The reason being, let's say, you know, now I have a buyer broker agreement with a buyer, and they don't have the money to pay out of pocket, so we can only see houses where the seller is offering buyer broker compensation. So that means any house that's not offering buyer broker compensation, we're just not going to look at. So that automatically takes it off the plate for so many people, because most highly qualified buyers use realtors. So I still advise offering buyer broker compensation. If you don't, you're going to be in an uphill battle. It's going to be very frustrating. You're going to probably drive your listing realtor crazy, asking them why your house hasn't sold when that's what's going on. Okay, and to end the 5 rights, this is one that I added. If you want a faster home sale, doesn't mean more money, but a faster home sale, get a pre-home inspection done. That way you know what's wrong with the house, you know what the buyer's gonna find when they get their inspection. And if it's something big, talk to your broker first before repairing anything, because it's not always good to repair everything before a sale. It lets you get the jump on big items if big items need to be fixed, and that way you can fix them before you go on the market. Okay, my ears are starting to freeze. I'm gonna get through this last part. These are things that I advise against. This is just some information that's come up from sellers in different situations throughout my career. This is not towards any one person or any one thing. This happens all the time. This is just some information that I wanted to share. So, open houses. You know, when sellers start getting panicked and worried that their house isn't going to sell, they start requesting a lot of open houses. Statistically, an open house has less than 1% chance of getting the home sold. Now, the benefits of an open house are whenever you mark open house in the MLS, it lets the people know who have your property saved that you're going to have an open house, and it brings it back into their mind. I think that's kind of worth it as well, but otherwise it's a good tool for newer brokers to find buyers, and it does make the seller and the realtor feel like they're doing something. However, I think the time can be better spent doing other things. Now, the caveat to this on open houses: there is a way to do it where an open house does work. And when I list houses, I do it this way. I'm not gonna give away all my secrets, but there is a way to use open houses to your benefit. Okay, things that don't really make a difference. So if your house and property is sitting there and you wanna get it sold, nothing's happening, no movement, a lot of times I'll get requests to change the description. And sometimes I get requests to change the description like daily, weekly, and it really is not a good use of time because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything major, I should say. So descriptions, of course, were gold whenever we didn't have the internet. You know, you had those realtor books that you'd pick up at a real estate office, or you read about listings in the newspaper and it had the description. Then, of course, that's super important because you usually have one photo and then a description. Now that we have the internet, description is not that important. So what I do with descriptions is put as many keywords as possible into them, so when people are searching for houses, it hopefully brings up a property I'm selling as a result. I also get requests to add a bunch of items to descriptions, and I don't think the public knows how many words are banned from real estate descriptions, so we're very tightly confined on what we can say in a description. So that's why I just load it with keywords. For instance, you can't say walk, you can't say see, you can't talk about nearby businesses, you can't talk about school districts, you can't talk about families, you can't talk about single people, you can't say privacy, you can't say exclusive, you can't name the builder, and on and on and on. So, we really have to walk a tightrope when we're creating our descriptions, and it's very it's just not a good use of time to keep on revamping a description when it doesn't do anything. The truth is, when you have to revamp a description, you probably need to start working on pricing. Now, good things to include in a description are bonus room, office, flex room, RV parking, water rights if your city or state has water rights, horse property, views, solar panels, and a few others. So the fine for using these words can be up to $110,000 per incident for your broker. So if they have 5 words in there, you got them $500,000 just paying for description. We all think our houses are special, and me included. So a lot of times, you know, if somebody goes to see one of the houses that I have listed and there's no response, they don't like it, the seller says, well, you know, did you tell them about this, you know, special feature I have? I just added concrete, or I just did these blinds, whatever. That's, I get the sentiment behind it, and I understand that, but that should be reflected in the price. So the buyer that's looking at the house isn't going to say, oh, the house is $500,000, but I forgot they just added a pad of concrete. Now it's worth it to me. No, it should be, holy shit, I'm getting all of this, including this new pad of concrete for $495,000. That's amazing. I can't let this one go. So that's kind of how I view that. Also, potential for upgrades, adding casitas, adding really big yards, adding an extra bedroom. That's all fine, but it's not real. It's not what the house actually represents at the time. You just need to acknowledge what the house looks like, condition, everything, what it's at this current time, and price it based on that. You can't base it on, well, in the future you can put a helicopter landing pad. It doesn't matter because it's not the future, it's right now. And there's no helicopter landing pad. All right, guys, I'm starting to freeze out here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the views. If you're interested in Las Cruces, I work on pieces of land from $15,000 all the way up to $1 million properties, and also investment properties. I really enjoy investment properties. Recently, somebody told me they were a little intimidated to call me because they thought I might be too busy, and that's just not the case. So I always make time for people, and if I am too busy, I will tell you that. Feel free to give me a call. I'd love to talk to you and answer any questions that you have. So yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon.